everyone. Happy Tuesday. Happy January. Oh my God, it's June. What the
January. What
hell?
freaking drugs are you smoking?
June 20th, episode 21 of We've Lost a Step. Before we dive in, just want to say thank you to everyone who still listens to this,
Yes,
who
thank you.
watches this on YouTube, who streams it wherever you stream, if you share it with your friends. We really appreciate it. I'm going to be honest, I don't think I thought we'd make it to June 20th
No,
recording this thing ever, but it's fun. We're
no.
having fun, even if
It's
no one,
fun. We're having fun. Mr. Monopoly, it says we're having fun.
we're having fun. So, how's your last week? You got some big news. How was the last
Name
7
a
days?
famous athlete that wore number 21. This is now becoming my thing. We're starting with
Derek Roy.
trivia. Derek Roy.
Did he wear
No,
21? Oh.
absolutely not. How about the guy that's the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes now?
How am I supposed? Oh, the guy who's about to lose his foot.
He's about to lose his foot too, so that's a whole nother
I
thing.
don't.
But
I can't remember his name. Yeah, I don't like when you
his
quiz me. I can't
his
think.
nickname is Prime Time.
It doesn't. Just give me his name.
Deion Sanders.
Right. Right. How was your
Episode
week?
Deion Sanders.
How was your week?
My week was good. What did we do? Oh, we've been house sitting and dog sitting. So hence this is episode goodbye, Mr. Monopoly, because he won't be in the next episode after today. So
Sad.
for those of you that watch on YouTube, we thank you. If you don't watch on YouTube, go watch on YouTube. Share it with your friends. Give it the thumbs up, subscribe. I think we have 2 subscribers. I think it's
Hell
me and
yeah.
you. I think it's me and you.
No, I
So
don't subscribe to it. I. It's
oh,
my channel. I can't
I'm some
subscribe to my own.
I'm subscribed. So that means we
Oh,
have one other.
it's just you and mom.
Oh, shit. Well,
Sad.
mom, have someone
Sad.
else subscribe then.
Sad to
That's
announce
that's
that.
damn that yeah,
Can
actually
I cut that?
cut that out of the episode. Cut that out. We don't need to hear any of that. But my last week has been pretty good. We've been low key. It's been nice. We went to see a condo outside of Boston on Saturday. We put an offer on it on Monday. Today is Tuesday. The offer was accepted Monday at around 5 p.m. So let's go.
Woo!
Thumbs up on the YouTubes. Give it thumbs up. Get 5 stars for buying a house. So we're good to go.
We
So
got
that is
shelter, baby. We
we
got
we've
shelter.
we've got shelter. We're gonna I don't know the whole timeline, but it's coming up soon and it's probably gonna happen sometime around the wedding as well. So the month of July is going to be a busy time, folks, but it's all really great stuff. How was your last week, Caroline?
Amazing. I did absolutely
Great.
nothing. Absolutely nothing. I had a long weekend, like I mentioned last week, four
Oh, me
days.
too. Me too.
Yep. Didn't do a single thing. I was
I
alone in
see
my
some
apartment.
see some boxes in the background there.
They've been in the background for a few episodes
Oh,
now.
well, it took me a few weeks.
I started packing in May for a August move.
Smart. Honestly, if you can get ahead of it, it's the best thing you can do.
I'm itching to continue to pack, honestly, but I think all my roommates are moving out before me, so I'll be able to kind of just throw crap
Oh,
and all over
nice.
the apartment once they're all gone.
Off the balcony, just like the
Yes.
cushions when I was there in November.
Yeah, and I'm sure the chairs that have been used 3 times that are on the
Oh
balcony
gosh, just leave them there.
will be
Just leave
thrown
them
off
there.
the balcony by the end.
Thrown off the
I'm just
balcony.
kidding. That's
You're on like the
dangerous.
21st
I'm
floor.
on 31st floor. That's
Oh shit.
dangerous. But yeah, I didn't do anything. I stayed in my apartment. I watched TV, played some The Show all weekend,
Oh, nice.
hours a
I like
day.
that game. I like
Just
that game.
continue to play. My stupid, no one cares. Actually, not even dive in, but no, everyone could care less about my The Show. But super fun. Did absolutely nothing. There wasn't really any sports on. So, well, I guess it was golf. I lied.
It
I
was
watched
golf
golf.
on.
Actually, that's how
Yes, you
you know
did.
there
You
was
were
nothing.
you were like locked
You
into
know there's
golf.
nothing on TV when I was locked into golf and I was really into it. But speaking of sports, it's kind of the slower period of sports. There's a lot of women's sports going on. I will always be the women's sports advocate for this podcast. Go watch the NWSL. We have the WNBA. WNBA is a little hard to watch. It's not really on TV.
It's a little
But
slow.
okay, Ethan,
They're
really?
they're high they're highly skilled. I'm just giving my opinion. I think they're incredibly skilled and
At least they play defense,
they'd
unlike the
whip my
men.
ass up and down the court. I'm just saying the pace of the game, like the way that they move the ball and stuff is very methodical.
Well,
That's
they
all I'm
play
saying.
defense, so
Correct.
it's a
Yeah.
little harder
I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying it's a methodical approach to basketball.
right. But so we have golf, we have college baseball still going on
Oh
somehow.
yeah, I got to watch that.
We have that's kind of it. NFL's at some points they had their OTAs, so that's happening. Mini
Who
camps,
cares?
not much is happening, but we can talk about a parade that occurred. And one of my hot or not is actually about the NBA parade, but we'll get there. But
We'll get
the
there.
Vegas Golden Knights had their Stanley Cup parade, I
Well,
believe.
first of all, they won the Stanley Cup
Oh
because
yeah, yeah, that was
we haven't talked about that because we recorded Tuesday of last week. Our whole
right.
plan to record on Mondays, it's all kind of going down the shitter just because life gets in the way. It's difficult.
Yeah, and it's
So
it's difficult to get it out then by Wednesday
I know.
morning, isn't it,
But
Ethan?
then you're in the lab cooking. You're
Isn't
in the
it,
lab
Ethan? It's
cooking. It's
hard to get it up by
that's really
Wednesday
hard. It's
morning.
really hard for Ethan. Yeah, it's really difficult for me to go to sleep and then wake up and look, the episode's out.
Somehow it magically appears.
Let's watch it on YouTube and let's listen to it on Spotify and let's rate it 5 stars. But I'm done with that. I'm done with that now. Yeah, so the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. They beat the Florida Panthers, aka the Naked Cats, 4 games to 1. And let me tell you, they beat the ever loving shit out of the Panthers in
Embarrassing.
Game 5, 9-3. Is that a Diet Coke?
Yes, it is a Diet
Oh,
Coke.
I am so jealous.
I
That
brought it from work. I brought the
Diet
can.
Coke.
I brought the can
Diet
home in
Coke
my
sounds
backpack.
so
Right,
good. Wow,
right,
that's
right.
smart. But yeah, so and then the other thing is it's now injury season where we find out about all the hockey players that are nut jobs and played with torn labrums in their shoulders, torn hip ligaments. Matthew Kachuk played Game 4 with a broken sternum. His brother had to pull him out of bed and put his clothes on him before Game 4. And then when he got to the rink, he couldn't even put his own gear on. He got dressed and someone dressed him and tied his own skates. Like the dude could have died, first of
Yeah,
all.
he
Like
could have.
I know he makes like $9.5 million a year or
Not
whatever it
worth
is,
it.
and it's his job. But I just have to say, I know hockey players have this reputation, got to play injured, hurt, whatever it is, whatever the difference is. I guess you got to play hurt, not injured, because if you're injured, you can't play. But playing with a broken sternum is just irresponsible.
I just think, it's a organization. Irresponsible is the right
Yeah,
word. You're not a good organization if you're having guys play through this. This is your
correct.
long term asset. If we're talking about just not as a human being, as an asset to a $1 billion organization, that is a risk to lose your asset, maybe forever, as we
Yeah,
just said,
yeah.
paying these guys. Also, there comes a point, maybe in Game 5, where when all these guys hurt, injured, let's use that word,
They're injured.
that it is more a detriment than a benefit to have them
Right.
on the ice. I think it's stupid and irresponsible of the player to do it. I know you would never, as a player, pull yourself out. But some of these guys, I mean, you watch and now you know, oh, that's why he couldn't skate. That
Right.
makes sense. He has
That's
a
why he couldn't do
broken,
anything in Game 4.
multiple guys had broken feet.
Right.
Why are you sticking it in a boot and playing? I understand it's a Stanley Cup. You might only have one chance ever
Yeah.
in the final, whatever. But you are probably a bigger detriment than you are a benefit at a certain
Yeah.
point. And I think it's an organization. You have to be smarter about it. You have these guys, and just like all these things that you hear about athletes after they retire and all the things that go on with them where they can't walk, they can't move, and the CTE stuff that's been coming out too with hockey players specifically. I think it's just ridiculous. And the Game 5 was embarrassing. The effort was
It's
embarrassing.
terrible.
Vegas, I mean, came out flying, whatever. But I think Florida Panthers should have to give back the Eastern Conference trophy for that effort. It was ridiculous. They shouldn't even get to hang a banner for the Eastern Conference champions because it was so embarrassing. But they probably shouldn't have had 6 guys on the ice who were playing. But yeah, so Vegas won. They had their celebration. They probably didn't sleep for 5 days, 6 days, especially in Vegas, and they won in Vegas. Crazy. But
So I know that we talked a lot about the TV schedule during the NHL playoffs and how the West Coast, the people on the East Coast could never watch any of the games because they got over with at 1 a.m., which is 10 p.m. on the West Coast. I will say though, 8 p.m. start on the East Coast for Game 5, right? That's a 5 p.m. start in Vegas.
yeah,
Game is over at like 8:15. The boys absolutely sent it. They were in the club with the Stanley Cup. I don't think they went to sleep. I saw some spit and chiclet stuff where they went from the club to some Irish pub
yeah,
at
I
like
saw
the
that.
end of the strip, and all of a sudden the Stanley Cup just walked in the pub at like 6 a.m. Like the boys absolutely sent it, and then the parade, which you mentioned. Number one, why did they all not have shirts on? I,
It's
I,
hot. It's hot
I,
in Vegas
oh,
right
true,
now.
because it's June in Vegas, so it's like 105 out.
Yeah.
William Karlsson, the dude was sauced to the absolute max. Apparently, his nickname is Wild Bill anyway. Well, Wild Bill lived up to his nickname. He walked out onto the stage, he fell down right on his
Yeah.
ass, and then he gave the most ridiculous speech about Jonathan Marchessault you could ever hear. It's like 2.5 minutes, and the Vegas Golden Knights staff member had to rip the microphone
Yes.
out of his hand and basically be like, "Shut your face." And it was so funny. It was honestly cringy to listen to just because he's so drunk. And well, speaking from experience, sometimes I get a little loose and I talk way too much. Caroline would definitely say that for sure. And this was one of those times where it's like, okay, buddy, shut the F up.
Yeah, no, he was chatty for sure. I have experience with a chatty one. But yeah, it was hilarious. He fell though. People were carrying him around. Like it's
It,
hilarious. It's not the greatest look, but
it's
it's
almost like he
funny.
was like the party boy mascot, kind of. Like
Yeah, but
he was like the guy that had to be there no matter what.
100%. It was really funny. But I guess congrats to Vegas and all their long years of suffering. And
He,
well, we
no,
can't dive too
no.
much into
This will
it.
forever be the anti-Vegas Golden Knights podcast. For as long as this podcast exists, it's anti-Vegas Golden Knights. So
I
that's it.
agree. I
That's
agree
it. It is
completely.
what it is.
But we should talk about the sports event that happened this weekend.
That
Kind
you
of the
were
big
locked
I was
into.
locked in. The US Open was on. It was good timing, but I didn't it was a little later in the day that it finished. I went to bed Saturday night before that round was over.
Well, that was late. Yeah.
Yeah, but Wyndham Clark won and we have a big boo in caps for a
Boo.
reason.
That's
We
just
we
boring.
aren't well, we are haters to our core.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely, I will be a hater till the day I die, and I am proud of that. But there's a reason why we are haters of Wyndham Clark's win. We were rooting for Shaq's boy, Ricky Fowler, so bad. He looked good in his orange. He had an understated orange outfit with his stripes. Fortunately, couldn't pull through. And the talk of the weekend was the course, LA Country Club. If you don't know it or hadn't heard about it, you guys should all look up the requirements to belong to LA Country Club because it's interesting in and of itself, other than the US Open being there. But yeah, Wyndham Clark won by a shot. Wasn't the most exciting thing to watch on television. NBC stinks, you have written here, and we could have Ben on and talk for hours about these commercials. But what were your thoughts while you're watching?
So overall, I watched Thursday. I didn't get to watch Friday. What the hell was it? I think I was just busy with work on Friday and I was just running around doing stuff. Saturday, I watched at night. I will say I love the fact that it was primetime golf solely because I was busy during the day on Saturday. So then we got home, I think, around like 5 or 5:30, and the leaders weren't teeing off for another hour, which first of all is insane. And we'll get to that in a second. But it was great to be able to sit down and see kind of the top 10 guys, then all tee off and watch them. The fact that golf was on until like 11:15 at night, though, slightly ridiculous because they finished the round as the final group in the dark. And after the third round on Saturday, Wyndham Clark essentially said, like, hey, I think Ricky made bogey because it was so dark he couldn't see if the putt was going to break or not.
Yeah.
So they complained and then they moved the tee times up for Sunday by an hour and 10 minutes, which was definitely the right decision because it's also a Sunday night and we want this thing over by like 9:30 at the latest. Like we can't be staying up till 11 o'clock on a school night, as you say, even though we both had Monday off,
But it's
which was
still
super,
school night for
but
people.
it's still a school night for a lot of people, even though school's out for summer. But at the same time, school night, work night, whatever you
School
want to
night.
call it, we're calling it school nights. So overall, it was a good tournament to watch. I would not call it one of the best tournaments to watch. I don't think LA Country Club really kind of showed out on television. Apparently, it's an awesome course to be at, but at the same time, the USGA and LA Country Club only allowed 14,000 general admission tickets to be sold for the 4 days. So what's that? I don't know the math off the top of my head, and I'm not going to do the math on my phone, so it doesn't matter. But it's not a lot of tickets. Apparently, a lot of the LA Country Club members tried to buy up as many general admission tickets as possible because they didn't want, like, kind of, I guess we'll call it the riffraff on their course. Now, I say that because the initiation fee at LA Country Club is anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000.
Insane.
Absolutely insane. Now, mind you, the former Playboy Mansion is on the golf course. It's off the 14th tee. I believe it's the Spelling family mansion is also on the course, and it's on the market right now for 155 million. The monthly mortgage payment is $935,000 for those that would like to put an offer in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to put an offer in, but if it came down to it and someone else wanted to do it, best of luck to you.
Yeah, but they don't even let those people join. The people who live on the
Well,
course.
so the rule is no celebrities. Now, that opens up a whole other can of worms of like what defines a celebrity.
Yeah.
Is it is a celebrity Wayne Gretzky? Like if Wayne Gretzky has the cash, is he allowed to join LA Country Club? Is the CEO of a major national corporation considered a celebrity?
No.
Like what if but I would consider Mark Cuban a celebrity even though he was the CEO of a major national
Yeah, but that's
corporation.
different. Not all CEOs are known like Mark Cuban.
That's true, but at the same time, like the definition of celebrity is very kind of arbitrary. I'll say I don't know if that's the right word, but it's very kind of up in the air. And
Yeah. No, I agree.
whatever other vocab word you want to throw at the wall for that one.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Playboy Mansion, on the 14th tee, there was all this like screeching and
Oh
noise,
yeah,
and I couldn't figure out what it was. And I just kept hearing it. I was like, dang, these birds are loud in LA, like so odd. And then they told us, they zoomed in, there's a little monkey enclosure off the 14th tee, and they were making noise. They weren't pleased with the tournament either. They were showing their displeasure as well, and they were loud.
they were monkeying around.
Okay.
No more
Anyways,
monkeys jumping on the bed. I guess you didn't like that joke, huh?
no, people were complaining that it was too easy. First round, the scoring average was 71.3, which is the lowest in the US Open by nearly a full stroke. So people were saying it wasn't that hard. They did move the pins around to make it a little more challenging as it went on. But the winner was 10 under, Wyndham Clark. I looked up the past 2 years of the US Open. Both were 6 under. So I guess you could say it was easier. Now it was 4 strokes. I mean, it's not 20 strokes easier. I do have to say, John Rahm was close. Like you can say this one was close. It was competitive. Like going into the last 9 holes, though, you didn't know what was gonna happen.
True.
Why are you shaking your head? Rory didn't start the last Sunday in the final pairing. I know he's in the second to last, but he moved up to second and only lost by a stroke.
Yeah, I mean, I think at a certain point you have to look at it in a way where Wyndham Clark built himself a three-shot lead, which was a cushion to make two bogeys, and then it kind of became a tournament after that. And in
Yeah, but he
similar,
he he still hit two or whatever, shot 2 bogeys to
I
make it a
know,
tournament.
I know. I'm not saying it wasn't a tournament. I'm just saying it definitely wasn't as exciting as the John Rahm one. And to be honest, I didn't watch the Desham
Boo.
the Deshambu one.
Ethan.
So
Well, he won
just
by 6 shots. So if we're
yeah,
talking
I didn't
about
even watch that one.
if we're talking well, me neither, but I looked up the statistics and I'm telling you that if we're looking at ease and competitiveness and whatnot, you have two in a row that are won by 1 shot. And in 2020, it was 6 shots. It wasn't even a competition on
No, it
Sunday.
wasn't. It
The
wasn't.
next
It
guy
was
was
not.
even. It wasn't
Yep.
even close. So
I
I'm just
do.
saying people are being hard on them, and I understand why, but I don't think it's a catastrophe like some people were making it out all weekend to be.
It's not a catastrophe whatsoever. The only catastrophe is the way that NBC treats people that watch it on television. That's the only catastrophe. So many flipping commercials. That's it. That's the only catastrophe of the weekend.
I agree.
Like the number of commercials constantly on Saturday and then early in the round on Sunday. It's just it's just ridiculous. It's disrespectful to the golf fan that actually wants to watch it on television. It's extremely disrespectful.
I agree. And I want to know who was in the room who made the decision that the playing through the commercial screen would be bigger than the golf screen. Like the way if no one watched, they had playing through so they could have commercials while you could still see the golfers, whatever. But the commercial screen was much bigger
Yep.
than the golfers hitting. And I do have I feel like the US Open, because I know it's a major, so it's not the PGA, right? Like whatever. And all that confusing stuff. I feel like there should have been a rule on Sunday that the last two pairs should have had no commercials or playing throughs. You could do it with anyone else that you show, but why would you do it with the last two pairs who are like gonna win and then you have to watch a stupid commercial about the tournament itself that it was showing commercial for? It's just
Yep.
stupid.
There were a lot of USGA commercials going on during their own tournament, so they bought their own advertising. Again, it's just NBC being disrespectful to the golf fan that
Yeah.
wants to watch it on television. That's truly all it is. And now, I know we talked about it last week, this PGA Live merger, partnership, whatever it is. The PIF is going to invest a whole bunch of money into professional golf now. Maybe, who knows if it clears the DOJ and all that stuff. But it would be nice if like there was enough of an investment where we didn't have to have 26 minutes in an hour worth of commercials when you show golf. Or in 1 hour of golf, you show, I believe it's like 40 shots total
Yeah.
versus 60 minutes of time, 40 shots total. To show a golf shot doesn't take more than
15 seconds.
15 to 30 seconds, depending on like if the
Yeah.
guy backs off the ball or not.
Yeah.
So again, I'm out on NBC. I've been out on NBC showing golf for the longest time. They absolutely stink. The executives there, they stink. I don't care. They just stink.
All right. Should we move on?
Let's move on to another thing about television. But in NFL, in the NFL world, they have the show on HBO called Hard Knocks. So if you've never watched Hard Knocks before, it's a behind the scenes look into training camp for different NFL teams. Now, there's only 4 eligible teams this year for Hard Knocks, and they're all kind of being a little difficult about who's going to participate. So I did a little digging to see the requirements to not be on the show.
Right.
So this is how you're not on Hard Knocks. Teams with a first year head coach, teams that have been in the playoffs the last 2 seasons. Now, I thought that one was extremely interesting. And then teams that have appeared on Hard Knocks within the past 10 years.
I feel like they're going to run out of options,
Eventually, it seems like they may.
right?
Now, I find the teams that have secured a playoff berth in the past 2 seasons to be interesting because those are the teams that people want to see.
Yeah, but the teams don't want them there.
I listen, I know why the NFL and the teams made the rule that way or made the eligibility requirements to be written that way, but at the same time, like as a football fan, I'm someone who wants to see, let's say the Pittsburgh Steelers made the playoffs. I want to see the 9-8 Pittsburgh Steelers go from wild card berth
Yeah.
last season. I want to see how they progress into training camp. I don't need to see like the play calls, the meetings and stuff, but I want to see the player interviews and like year 2 with Kenny Pickett and all that type of stuff, you
Yeah.
know? Like that's the type of stuff I want to see. And I know a lot of teams now also do their own like YouTube series too. I think like the
Yep.
Chiefs do one,
The Rams,
the Bills kind of do one, the Rams do one. I think
the
there's
Giants.
4 or 5 or 6 of them. I think the Jets also do one too. Now, the teams that are eligible this season are the Chicago Bears, the New Orleans Saints, the New York Jets with Aaron, and the Washington Commanders. Oh, and I thought it was also but the Lions were on it last year, but I'll get to that in a second.
Right.
So the Chicago Bears essentially said Hard Knocks is great for the 31 other teams in the league. That's what ownership said. So they're
Yeah.
out. The Jets said, this year just isn't the year for us. The Commanders just got bought, so
Yeah.
well, first of all, the Washington Commanders are a disaster. Apparently, they can't even get the website that they wanted, so they might have. I'm sure the article was fake or it's like a load of baloney, but
We know your Twitter.
they might have to rename the team again.
No, I don't think that's true. I
But
saw
that'd be
that.
wild. That
I
would be
saw that as
wild.
well. There's like a company that has the same name or something. They have enough money to buy these people, whatever. I would watch the New Orleans Saints.
So I don't know much about the New Orleans Saints this year, to be quite honest. I would like to see the double Aaron Jets because
Yeah.
that would be super super interesting. Obviously, everyone wants to see the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, and they were like pretty competitive last season, so that would be really interesting. But the NFL can pick a team. Teams can volunteer, or the NFL can just say, "Nope, you're the
You
team."
have to, yeah.
And it sounds like it's going to be the Detroit Lions again, back-to-back years. Now it was kind of an electric season last year watching Hard Knocks. They had Jamal Williams and a couple other guys. Even though I said that Dan Campbell stunk and all that stuff.
Yeah. First
I
episode.
know what I said. Yeah, but that was in the throes of the NFL playoff push. I was just trying to create some content, I was saying some stuff, but at the same time the show was a little electric. Now again, I still don't agree with the way that Dan Campbell acts in the sidelines. I know he's like a guy's guy, he's a player's coach, he's trying to get the boys fired up. I get all that. I just don't like the antics on the sideline. That's it. But overall, if it's going to be the Detroit Lions, I'll tune in after the fact. I typically watch I start 2 weeks late so I can
Same.
kind of binge a couple of them.
Yeah, I don't like to wait.
No.
That's stupid. I would rather watch the Detroit Lions every year than the Washington Commanders.
Yeah, I don't even know who's on the Commanders.
I don't either. Is Taylor Heineke still their quarterback? I don't think
Probably.
so.
No, but I'll let you know in a second.
I don't think so. I would watch the Saints. I can't remember. They signed a new quarterback as well. Oh, Derek Carr. I would watch the Saints. I think that would be interesting.
Alvin Kamara, yeah.
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I mean, I usually only like it because of the dudes that they highlight who are like on the bubble being cut. Those are usually the interesting guys. They don't always show the superstars as much, like the big quarterbacks. And
Well, yeah, because those guys don't want to be on
well, they're
TV.
lame. All
Also,
right.
you will never guess the name of the Washington Commanders quarterback ever.
Well,
Ever.
like I don't. Oh wait. Oh,
Ever.
ooh. I feel like I know it though. Just tell me.
Sam Howell.
Oh, I did know that
Their
because
backup quarterback is Jacoby Brissett.
right, because I remember they signed him from the Colts, being
Yep.
like it's a veteran quarterback who's going to
Yep.
support Sam Howell, blah blah. And they kept saying Sam Howell's a Taylor Heineke. I remember this happening. Anyways, I would be fine with Detroit Lions. The issue, like you said, is a lot of these teams do their own, and I watch them on YouTube, and they're all very good. And it's
Right.
like 12 episodes, and it goes through the entire season. It doesn't just stop at the preseason, which is interesting.
Well, the other thing is that Amazon also produces the in-season version of Hard Knocks now too. So last year was the Arizona Cardinals, which makes like the Cardinals ineligible, and that's been going on for 3 or 4 years. And the Eagles did it one
I'm
year.
not going
So
to watch anything on Amazon Prime, including the games on Thursday night.
we will talk about that when football season
All
starts
right.
because
Well,
it's
I
because it's
mean,
completely ridiculous that Amazon Prime now has football and there's a playoff game on Peacock and all this stuff. It's totally
yeah.
ridiculous.
And I'm not getting a
Ab-
subscription.
well, I currently have a Peacock subscription, so
Oh, yeah.
if I still have it, we can watch the game. But it's only $5 a month, so we'll see. I
That's how they
might not.
get you. That's
I might
how
not.
they, because
Yeah.
then you have 8 streaming services for $5 a month. And then you're like, wait, I'm paying the same amount that I am for like
Or,
cable or my YouTube TV or whatever.
yep.
That's how they get you. I have so many subscriptions to things that I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to cancel my 7-day trial. And it's 4 months later.
Yeah. So I typically set a reminder. Like I
Same.
did
And I
a.
immediately cancel it thinking I will remember to do it this afternoon. And I remember 4 months later in the middle of the night.
Ooh, I
And then I'm
remember
like, oh, I did not cancel my Paramount subscription. That
I
happened to
did
me a
a
few weeks ago.
I did a Fubo TV one, but that was $99 a month, so I had to make sure I canceled that
Oh,
one. Yeah,
$99?
because it's like a YouTube TV, but they had like different channels. Because
Fuck.
Fubo has NHL Network, but
Oh.
YouTube
Oh,
TV
right.
doesn't. So it was during the World Junior, I believe, and I wanted to watch. So
So
that's
ridiculous.
that's also how they get you. They each have their own little specific
So
channel list and all that stuff. And I don't even think on YouTube TV you can get NHL Network.
you can't. There's no upgrade. You just have YouTube TV and it has what it
Stupid,
has.
dumb.
It has
And
red zone.
now it does. Yeah, but like we talked about a few weeks ago, now there's this delay versus streaming and cable. Like how are people going to be able to gamble on games if they already know the result? Like it's very very interesting now.
It's like
Like
a minute.
a minute's a lot because you can see it on
Also,
Twitter.
YouTube TV is putting in to have like primetime football games
Even
from some
worse.
of these big. Anyways, our
Even
streaming
worse.
discussion. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Should we move on to our hot or not?
Well, one thing I did watch Air, so
Oh
if
yeah.
people who have Amazon Prime, I have no idea why Air's just on Amazon Prime, but it's pretty awesome. Go watch Air. That movie was awesome.
It
Ben
was so
Affleck,
good.
Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, a couple other people that are definitely famous. The guy that was in the show on Netflix about selling drugs in the
Wow.
Ozarks. It's called Ozark. I had to really work that one through.
That
Jason
guy from
Bateman.
that thing.
Jason Bateman is
Oh
in it.
right.
He was really good. Air is a fantastic movie. If you have Amazon Prime, it's about 2 hours long. It's awesome. It's the story of how Nike got Michael Jordan. Really, really, really cool. I love the fun facts at the end. I'm not going to ruin it for everyone. I love the fun facts in the end, just kind of all about all the different money and all that stuff. Super, super cool.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
And then the who's hot and who's not of the week. Kick it
Yeah,
off.
the first who's hot is yours, but we
We're
already kind
bu-
of talked about it.
yeah, we're buying a house. It's the who's hot. Super competitive market in 2023. Didn't really think it was going to happen. I got a phone call yesterday where it was like a fake phone call where Grace said, oh, we didn't get it, blah 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 blah. I said, damn, like we're gonna go through this again with some other place. And she goes, just kidding, we got the place. So super super exciting. So yeah, Grace and Ethan, it's the who's hot of the week. Bought a
Who's
house, buying a house, but I don't want to jinx anything yet.
buying a house? First, who's not is a sad story about a
Oh,
submarine.
this
If
is
you have
bad.
not seen this in the news, please look it up. It's
This is
absolutely
bad.
wild. A group of 5 people, well, 4 people and a pilot, rich people, $250,000 for the trip, went down in a submarine to go explore the Titanic crash, which I didn't know this. It's 900 miles off the coast of Boston.
Yeah, it's 12,000 feet deep.
Okay, I'm just saying it's close to the US. Okay,
Oh
that's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah.
Anyways, they were on their trek down and they have now been lost in the deep blue sea. They only have about, I think, 36 hours of air left. It's really sad.
I
It's
mean,
horrible. I don't know why you would ever think this is a good idea to do this. It is literally the worst nightmare scenario. You couldn't even imagine this in your worst nightmare scenario. And I read something today that said they don't even have the technology to find or pull it out. Like it would take years. So they have to get
oh.
lucky, basically. So insane.
What? What? They just have to hope that they float to the
They
surface.
have to hope that they find it or that there's like rescue initiative, like things in the submarine. I'm not saying the right things, and smart people are going to get mad at me.
Well, no.
But
Here's the thing. So here's the thing. It's being steered with a Logitech video game controller.
crazy.
It's
Also, it only has one window. So if you're going to look at the Titanic, how are they all going to see out the one window?
so stupid.
So crazy. I don't think the submarine world is regulated for like civilian use. So this was, I don't know. It's insane. We'll see what happens, I guess, the next 2 or 3 days.
I feel horrible for those people. I feel like they got duped a little bit, and I
Yeah,
think I think that I believe there's like a 60 minutes special or a CBS like weekend news story all about. I think it's two guys that started this like submarine expedition thing. So check that out if you can. Super sad though.
it's
Really, really sad.
insane. It's
Yeah.
insane. But on another note, who's hot? I don't know if you know about this. I
I
just
have
told
no
this to
idea.
you.
I saw this. I have no idea what this is.
The Shakira love triangle. And the who's hot is Shakira because supposedly she's in a love triangle. And this is for our sports and our pop culture fans because both are important and both have deserve respect and love. That supposedly Shakira is in a love triangle with Tom Cruise and Lewis Hamilton, the F1 driver.
Whoa.
And at Monaco, Shakira and Lewis Hamilton were seen on multiple dates out to dinner and on yachts. And supposedly Tom Cruise is his ego's hurt because he thought he had a chance with Shakira, but Shakira can't be tied down, and she is in a love triangle with two of the probably most what's the right word bachelor
Most
men
eligible
most
bachelors.
eligible bachelor. Been a long day. Most eligible
I see that.
bachelors in the entire world, and so she's our hot because you go girl if you can get Tom Cruise and Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah,
Props
good.
to you.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah. Do you want to do our next who's not? I don't know if you agree with my opinion.
No, so I agree. So the Philadelphia Flyers have new jerseys. They've had the same freaking jersey since 1975 or whatever it is, and they just changed the little iterations. You wrote here slightly darker orange, some black sleeve numbers, a new ad that's bright blue on an orange jersey, like they're the Syracuse Orangemen. Like, here's the deal: the Philadelphia Flyers, while they're this storied franchise within the NHL because of the Broad Street Bullies days in the late 70s, where they just beat the hell out of everyone
Whatever.
and won one Stanley Cup. They didn't win a lot of Stanley Cups like the Edmonton Oilers or the New York Islanders, whatever it is. And then these crazy Philly fans think that because the Flyers won one Stanley Cup, like these jaded Yankees fans who are like, well, the last time we won a World Series it was 2003, and but we've won 26 of them. All this stuff. No, I'm just talking about similarities in fan bases. That's all I'm saying. The Flyers jerseys are stupid. They're boring. They're lame. They're the same old whack ass franchise that doesn't know how to do anything right. So that's all I have to say. It's the Flyers jerseys not hot.
No, not hot. I'm gonna throw some shade at Cornell. Shout out Thomas. They always have the most boring jerseys ever, and they say they're because of tradition. They're too big. They're just red. They're so boring,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like the Flyers. They look too big. They're just orange, and they're boring. And they announced this big reveal. We have a big reveal tomorrow. We have a big reveal, and the jerseys look exactly the freaking same. And I am not a hater on jersey ads. I am not a hater. Whatever, get your bag. I could care less. I can't even see it on TV. I don't care. But why would you pick a bright blue one on orange jerseys? I know you maybe didn't have that many options and they're like a local company and I read about it, whatever, go off that company. It's bright blue. It's literally bright blue. It's not navy. It looks stupid. But I digress. I don't like the Flyers and I think it's stupid.
They
It's
should
not
just put.
like if you're going to change your jersey, sorry, if you're going to change your jersey, it should be like the Anaheim Ducks, where you go from brown and orange or you go from purple, teal, and white, which were the greatest jerseys ever created in the
Yep.
entire world, to
Yep.
brown and orange. And it was such a massive switch in
Yeah.
their organization.
Right.
It was like earth shattering for the NHL to see that because they were so ugly. But it should be that big of a change if you're going to do this. Like when the Sabres went from the skunk to royal blue and back forth, whatever.
Yeah. Listen, they should just put gritty on the jersey,
Yes.
and they would sell 700 million of them because I would even be interested in like a gritty T-shirt.
It'd be hilarious.
And if you don't know who Gritty is, look him up because he's unbelievably.
And they suck, so who
silly.
cares?
Exactly. All right, let's make these quick.
Yeah. Our next who's hot, the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Jokic? I don't know.
Jokic.
And after they won the NBA Finals, he was pissed that they had to go to a parade.
He wanted to go home.
Want to go home. He has rebounded so hard on this celebration tour. He was plastered at the parade. He was getting everyone in his team drunk. They all were drunk at the parade, and they were like, "Oh, are you having fun?" They're all like, "It's his fault. It's his fault." He was at all the clubs, behind all the DJ stands, and he's really rebounded with his celebration. And I commend him for being the person who doesn't want to go out, but then has the most fun when they do. And respect to him for that.
I saw a tweet that said if he now understands how much fun he has when he wins a championship, look out because he didn't really like his job, but now if he likes his job, he might be super dangerous.
Yeah. All right. Well, the last who's not is mine. I found this news article, and it was an owner of an auto repair shop paid a former employee with 91,500 oily pennies, and now he's been ordered to pay nearly $4 million more. But basically,
well, hold on. You wrote 4 million more cents. Is it pennies or is it dollars? Because if it's 4 million more
cents.
pennies, it's 40 grand.
Sorry, pennies. Yeah, 40 grand.
Okay, so he owes 40 grand. Okay,
sorry, yes,
that's okay. Just checking.
After an employee filed a complaint with their recruiting agency, basically the owner of the auto repair shop owed him a final $915. So he dumped that amount of pennies in oil, and he gave him the pennies with a pay stub signed with an expletive. We don't know what that was.
It probably was the version of the middle finger.
Yes. And so, yeah, I just said who's not that auto repair shop owner. 91,500 pennies in oil. Sad, mean. And I just want to know where he got all those pennies from.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's super, super interesting.
But that's the last who's not.
That ain't right.
A loser.
That ain't right, dog. That ain't right.
Yeah. All right. Anything before we go?
Nothing's coming to the top of my head. Now I'm just thinking about Tom Cruise and Lewis Hamilton and Shakira because I didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, hopefully they find those people on the submarine.
Yep. Hopefully they do.
Everyone say goodbye to Mr. Monopoly.
Bye, Mr. Monopoly. Have a great week, everyone. Enjoy the weekend, and I'll see you in a little, Ethan.
Woo!
Woo!